In this short demo, we're going to be looking at the SUSE Linux Enterprise Mono extension. Nearly half of IT decision makers, developers and architects report that they use Microsoft.NET as their application technology platform on which to run their applications. Until now, the .NET framework has only been available on Windows. The ability to run ASP.NET and other .NET applications on Linux is now possible with SUSE Linux Enterprise Mono extension, a .NET application framework based on the open source Mono technology and powered by SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. One of the most common .NET application deployments is website publication using Microsoft Windows Visual Studio. While this deployment is typically performed on Microsoft Windows, developers can now do so on Linux while still working with Visual Studio. Let me introduce you to the demo environment for this demo. If we look at my computer, you'll see that from this Vista workstation we have a drive mapping, drive Z, which is going to our Mono server. This is a SUSE Linux Enterprise server with the Mono extension installed. That's important later on when we go to publish our project, so we'll return to that in a few moments. Also, if we run Internet Explorer, this is a very simple homepage, and this is pointing at our Mono server running over on the SUSE Linux Enterprise server. The Vista workstation is connected to the web server, which is running on Linux. The next part of the demo environment is we have Microsoft Visual Studio 2008, and if I open that up, I'm going to bring up our sample project. So this is a development project for a blog engine, as you can see, created natively in Visual Studio 2008, and it's going to be an ASP.NET application. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on our project over here, and then I'm going to hit the F5 key to build it locally. Now what this will do is this will demonstrate the kind of native building of an ASP.NET application. It's now been built in Visual Studio and deployed on the local machine. So looking at our Internet Explorer page now, this is the end result of our application, the blog engine running in the web browser. So that's how you do it in the Windows world, but what we want to do is we want to deploy that application in exactly the same way, only this time to an Apache web server running on SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. So let's go ahead and do that. First we need to close the Internet Explorer, and that will shut down the currently running build of the ASP.NET application locally. Then what we need to do is to publish this website to the Mono server. So I'm going to issue the command to publish the website, and at this point it's asking me for a target location where I want this application to be published to, and that's where the drive mapping I showed you earlier comes in. So we're just going to browse to that now. We'll scroll down the list and we'll go to our Mono server share. This is actually pointing to the htdocs directory on the Apache web server, so it's exactly the place where it ought to go, and we're going to call it blog engine. So I'm just going to type that name in now, and once we've got the name right, we're just going to click OK to go ahead and publish that. What you'll see now down the bottom here is Visual Studio's status bar will display building and publishing indicators. Once the process is complete, the status bar within Visual Studio will say Publish Succeeded. Okay, there we go, it's now finished. It says Build 2 succeeded and up to date with no errors. So it looks like that's published successfully. We'll go back to Internet Explorer on here, and this time, instead of looking at our home page, we'll go to Mono server / blog engine, and if everything's worked, we should then get the same ASP.NET blog engine application served up to us by SUSE Linux Enterprise Server with the Mono extension. And there you go, it comes up exactly the same way. As you can see, the ability to deploy ASP.NET applications on Linux in addition to Windows is a valuable capability for developers. SUSE Linux Enterprise Mono extension allows developers to easily port .NET-based applications from Windows to Linux without a major investment in rewriting code. This gives them more flexibility and choice than ever, and helps increase performance, scalability and productivity by leveraging existing .NET resources to run applications on the operating system and hardware of their choice.